Hey girlies, welcome back to Intellectual Baddie Session, where we do our makeup, look cute while we talk about life topics because we are all coping. And today on the chopping block, it is discernment. Discernment has single-handedly been the protective shield in my life from people, from events, anything. For me, it's been a thing that has always been a lens that I put onto my eyes, and it helped me move through the world. In essence, it's able to differentiate what's yours and what's not. And in a world full of so much chaos, so much noise, I think discernment is like so important, because without it, you will be just absorbing any and everything ever. And that's just not the way we want to move, because we're baddies and we're going to think with our own mind. Process of like actually processing what's happening around you. And I think like so much of our life goes where we just don't give things a second thought, or we push it under the rug and we avoid it. Like if someone is saying something and you kind of like have to filter it through. In layman's term, I would say it's the ability to suss things out and to kind of go like have the events that happen kind of go through like this filter in your brain. You're like, wait a minute. And it's a little bit different than judging. And discernment has helped me a lot in the sense of protecting myself from various situations that I could have gotten myself into, people that may not have had the best interest for me, and things like that. And I also think discernment is sort of a spiritual gift where like you feel it in your soul, you feel it in your gut, and you feel like, I think it's also like your nervous system, right? Like over the years you develop these like pathways and sensory regulations that like can sense the pattern, and you can sense the danger. And I think like having all of that together kind of forms this filter and this lens of discernment. Discernment is so powerful because it's a protective shield if you use it correctly and you don't confuse discernment with feedback and honest critique in comparison to like projection and chaos and noise. I think it's a really important thing to have in your back pocket or work on developing, because it single-handedly was the only thing that helped me kind of tune out the noise. A lot of family sometimes like will tell you to pick this path, will tell you to be this person, or well, this is how things are done, and things like that. And I think like having discernment of like where people's thoughts and where their opinions are coming from will help like not have a thinking where you fall into a bandwagon. You fall into just following a clear-cut path someone just chose for you because that's just how things are. And I think discernment is able to separate that noise and kind of go to yourself and reevaluate. We're like, okay, wait, this everything in the world goes through a filter now. So it would make sense that the thoughts and the noise that is coming from the outside world also goes through a filter now before you absorb everyone's everything. Throughout my life, that was like my guidance. That was like my protecting keep, or my little like hand over like my head that was always watching over me. That was actually like wisdom. I think also when things go through a filter, and that internal human filter is discernment, it helps you get more clarity. Like if you think about water, right? Like we don't drink the polluted water. I mean, we might be, but it's still, even the polluted water will go through a lot of filters before it lands into our system. And the same way you kind of want to look at thoughts. You want to look at opinions. You want to look at like what is being said and how you're taking it all in. You know what I mean? And it's easy to do when it's people that like don't matter. Like personally speaking, it's really easy to differentiate like other people that you don't really care for or have like a personal deep connection with. But if it's like a friend, if it's like family and all that, it's really hard to sometimes separate your thoughts, because groupthink is a big thing. And naturally, if you're naturally inclined and like someone because they they're related to you, they're an amazing person, I sure have that. But sometimes it's really important to have that individual lens. Sometimes even the people closest to you, that doesn't mean that they are correct. That doesn't mean they know the best. And honestly, in the end, you actually become a little bit more of a self-actualized personality that takes what works from other people's thoughts and ideas, and you kind of cultivate your own, which is pretty damn cool because that's always going to be unique to you. But that filter, when you're in different situations, you're surrounded by people that might not be the best for you, or you have to assess. Sometimes we have to mess up, and you can't go ahead over analyzing every little thing that you do in your life. I totally understand that. Obviously, as an overthinker and an intellectual baddie, obviously I'm really bad at that. What I'm trying to say is that in general, it really helps to have a little bit of a filter, and that's what discernment has been for me. Stepping back in general in situations allows you to actually process what's going on instead of like making rash decisions, and gives you time to have a filter to see like what is even mine to take on and where I might have fucked up and messed up. The tricky thing is discernment, processing, all these things take time. It's not easy to develop these things. But the way that I usually like to exercise all these things is after a while, you just become so, like, the bullshit meter is, like, so high that you can sense people. You help people and, like, what it is. It gets easier over time. But I think really what helps is slowing down, thinking, and reflecting. I think TikTok would call it your BS barometer. But I think really it's called discernment. Once you're better at building that up, you're going to feel a lot more confident. You're going to feel like I can handle like situations with people. I can handle situations. And even if you can't, I feel like after you build your confidence up slowly, it's like hard to come back down, I mean, unless life really humbles you, which I know life really can do. And sometimes even your filter can be wrong. Like, there's a lot of times where, like, my filter is wrong. Like, not a lot, but, like, for like, enough where sometimes I'll have, like, healthy amount of self-doubt. But what I'm saying is, for the most part, when you build this shield, it gives you confidence. It gives you like a leadership in yourself that you can like figure things out in your life. That discernment was literally one of the ways that like I protected myself a lot as a kid, like from the world. I was like, okay, like I gotta look out for myself. So that filter, she went up. She was like, I am here. Don't play me like this. Oh, girlies, if you are big on discernment. That was today's conversation. I think it's really important to talk about discernment. It's really important to talk about developing and cultivating it, because I just overall think that it helps you navigate this chaotic and noise-filled world with so much that's always trying to deter you from your path. And it's been a real guide and source of protection for me from like a mentally, spiritually process. But anyway, girlies, this was the look. Also, my top is like so cute, right? I'm so sad I like couldn't put it all into like the one video, but at least I got myself out of bed. And if you stayed till this long, please subscribe and follow me on the other platforms where you see a little bit more makeup reviews. You'll see more funnier content, and make sure that you stay safe. Mwah!